Yeah, Frank, that's your cue, the same way it was the last 26 episodes.
I'll prove you wrong later, but MLG proved that even Flash is mortal as God loses to life.
I guess it was a picture of life. I'm just kidding.
This is Andrew and you're watching eSports Canada TV.
Welcome, everybody, to eSports Canada TV, episode 27. I'm your host, at Quinn in the Net, joined by my lovely co-hosts, at ESC Jovian and at ESC Songers. Those aren't actually their real names. Those are Twitter handles. So that's a good indication that you need to go on to Twitter and follow those people. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
I'm doing well. The overlay does look really cool.
I see what you did. I feel like you just took my artwork and you just bled all over it.
You made it red.
Yeah,
Yours was dark, Nick. It matches your mood and
matches my
persona.
heart.
Yours was too dark to the point where it was too black in the background.
What's wrong with black?
Nothing's wrong with black.
That's what I thought.
Look at that ticker, though.
Oh, there's a ticker.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good
Look at
stuff.
that ticker.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hydraulis,
Now we can
welcome.
put a bunch
Thank you
of
for not
information
forgetting
on
the
it.
show. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, nice.
Hydralis is here. I like him.
All right, guys. What do we got, Johnny?
First of all, Frank, I know what Flash looks like, and I know what life looks like.
Are you sure?
Usually before the show, we share the picture that we start the show with, the opening one, and I didn't have time, and so I just kept telling Frank, it's a picture of life, or it's a picture of Flash sitting in his booth, and he was like, oh, you mean the picture of life doing this? And I was like, no, it's Flash sitting there in his booth, and he was like, are you sure it's Flash?
Because I had given you a picture of Flash, but there was like a bunch of people around him, and then there was another picture with a whole bunch of other pro players. So I'm just like, I don't know, John. You have to go.
No,
and
I
pick
saw
a
this
random
picture from Reddit from user Debit Starcraft, and I believe he actually took that picture, so we do have to give him credit. So thank you, Debit Starcraft. I stole your picture, and we're making no money off it, so just try and sue us. Without further ado, I do want to introduce our two lovely guests for this evening, and no, they're not twins, but they are in the same room together. They're both in beautiful British Columbia. From UBC Esports, Mr. James Choi. He can't speak. They had this wild mic setup where they were trying to use a headset 5 feet away from them to pick up noise, and it just wasn't happening. So they're going to have to do the interview separate, even though for the first time ever we have two guests together in the same room.
Wow, that's weird.
Awesome.
It's an upside down world out there in BC. But leading things off because of his Esports Canada affiliation, we have our BC operations manager, Adrian Fakstorp.
Oh, you got it. Hello.
Wow.
How you doing tonight?
Notes are wrong.
Doing pretty good. Excited to be here.
Ooh,
Thanks for having us.
fantastic. We like when guests are excited. Guys, as the ticker indicates, please tweet questions to at esports_Canada or drop them there in the chat, and we will be sure to get to those. According to the chat, James Choi is Imba.
Oh, nice.
I don't know about that one. I have my doubts about that.
That's not an actual question, but we'll let it slide. So, Adrian, you're up first at the pulpit. I want to know where you're from, where you live now, and how you got involved in the crazy world that we all call electronic sports.
Okay, so I was born in Vancouver. I live in Vancouver. Probably will live in Vancouver for a while. How I got into esports was pretty cookie cutter answer. I mean, I've been playing games for most of my childhood, and when StarCraft 2 came out, I've been playing Brood War a little bit casually for 2 or 3 years before that. And when StarCraft 2 came out, I decided I'd try and compete some places, and the UBC Cup, the first one I think it was. Yeah, the first one, I went to go compete at that BYOC. Met a bunch of people there, like I met James at the first UBC Cup, and a bunch of my friends, and then I really liked the community, and then most of like my friends, esports friends, I met there at the UBC Cup, so we've known each other for a long time. And then I tried to facilitate sort of the esports community here with a friend of mine, Scott Rebello. So we made this Facebook group, yeah, a group called 604 StarCraft. Although it's kind of died down now because neither of us have time to admin it or whatever. But that's where we started, and yeah, that's how I got into esports.
Funny story, Adrian. You might remember, and I remember it quite well. But when I was first getting involved with Esports Canada, and I just kind of first met Ken Silva, and he invited me on board, and I started to meet different people via Skype and whatnot. Ken Silva at like 2 a.m. my time invited me into a chat channel in StarCraft and said, "Oh, a bunch of guys are going to play threes," and I was just like, "Okay." And I had just learned what 604 StarCraft was. And I joined the game and it was like a 3v3 and I saw your name pop up and I was like, CG Mank, like, where do I recognize that name? And then I went and looked at the profile afterwards and you were in Masters and I was just like, oh my god, I'm playing with pro players. And I thought it was like the biggest deal in the world. And then I met you like 2 months later and completely forgot that you were still CG Mank and didn't realize it until you and I played twos a long time after that. So you're the first professional StarCraft player I ever met.
Well, I'm not really professional.
Congratulations.
But
You're Masters. That's pro enough
So
for me.
humble, so humble.
fair enough. When did
These
our
Masters-
suit rivalry start?
You had an MLG Barcraft hype video. You did that like one
Oh.
long shot where you walked like through a bar or something and you were wearing a suit and you were like, "Oh, come out to Barcraft. I'm an idiot." And then, but I had previously worn suits to NASL and so I had the crown and then you tried to wear a suit and it got messy.
It was actually my house, but yeah,
Oh,
I've been
okay,
wearing
yeah.
suits. I think a little
I
bit
skimmed through the
longer.
video. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I watched it. So. Just wait to the lightning round if you think this is bad.
Oh no.
So, Adrian, I want to know what you're doing now in Vancouver in terms of esports. I know previously you held Barcrafts. Is that something you're still doing? I know you're involved with UBC Esports. Can you talk about all that?
Sorry. So right now I'm like you said, I'm the VC operations manager here for eSports Canada. So I oversee sort of our esports events. Unofficially, I kind of help out with the UBC Esports Club as well, here and there, although I don't hold an official title. And then also, yeah, Vancouver Barcraft I'm a part of, along with James, Ricky McBride, and another guy called Michael Medley. However, we didn't actually do one for this Barcraft because St. Paddy's Day is pretty big here, and we couldn't get a bar. So
Oh, that's
I
unfortunate.
I ran into the same problem and chose not to do one.
yeah, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
I actually want to ask a follow-up question. You said you met at the first UBC Cup. When was that? When was the first one?
The first September, I think it was the first September after StarCraft 2 came out, so September 2010.
2010. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
So
So
you guys have been besties ever since? Have you been living there ever since?
They look like this.
well, I don't live here. I mean, yeah, we're suddenly roommates. Yeah, we've been pretty good friends since. Like most of my friends now, like my close friends these days are StarCraft people or Dota people or whatever. So,
Nice.
yeah, strong
Bringing
friends.
people together. So from that, I guess from the first UBC LAN that you went to 2010, you're going to be hosting another one this year. How has it grown, and what can we expect from UBC LAN this year?
Well, I can only speak partially to that as I'm not the official organizer. But the first one of the year we have is actually next week,
Wow.
the 24th of March. For all three games, it's going to be at Irving K. Barber Library which is in UBC. Unfortunately, Dota and League qualifiers have already happened, but StarCraft 2, I think, there's still an open bracket, which James will talk about later. And then later on in the year, I think June, sometime in the summer, we're going to have another UBC Cup, which is going to be the ISF qualifier as well.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
In terms of growth, it's actually gone massive, especially with the acquisition of League and Dota as a part of the whole conglomerate of esports. I think we have 700 active members on Facebook. Well, not active, but 700 members on UBC Esports page.
Yeah.
From a lot more than last year. So it's definitely seen a lot of growth. It's 1,300 now.
Oh
well,
man.
he's gonna check, but
Oh,
we
it's
have a lot
double?
of people.
That's awesome. And do you guys, so you guys allow outside, because it's through the school, like your venue is the university itself, correct?
Yeah. It
So
is.
you guys allow outside people as well? It's not just restricted to students?
Well, I don't actually go to UBC myself, so yeah, it's a lot to anybody in Vancouver. We just, I guess, the club is just a cover.
What's with Toronto? Why are Toronto universities so stringent about this? It feels like all the universities in Toronto here are like, no,
Because they can't
students
have
only.
outsiders coming in and being like, you know, your school sucks, right?
Oh, is that why it is, John? Thanks for telling me
It's
all the
probably
information.
it. It's probably it.
But Montreal allows outside students, and now Vancouver does. It's like everyone around us, but we just don't do it ourselves. We
Well, I think it
gotta.
has I think it has something to do with the college culture here, because there's a couple of colleges like Simon Fraser University, and then of course UBC, and there's also Langara College, and then a bunch of other ones, and they have like a sort of like they work together, these colleges. So like for example, I go to Langara, and then I could go to a UBC library and borrow books or whatever. Same with SFU. So because of that sort of there's no real competition. It's more like they work together. I think that's one of the reasons why they let other students in
Oh,
to
I
the
see.
clubs and whatnot.
But it's open to anybody, not just students of either or organization.
Yeah, anybody, even if you're not a student, you can come and participate. You can become a member of the
That's
club
wicked.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
I wanted to ask, we had an indie developer on our show a while ago, Ryan Vandendyck, and he's from Vancouver area, and he said that the gaming scene is actually pretty strong in Vancouver. And we also, I mean, everybody kind of knows Montreal's gaming scene is also very big. Do you think that has anything to do with maybe the acceptance of esports as a video game culture, even in the school settings?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that both Montreal and Vancouver are, well, I don't know as much on Montreal, but we're big like school cities.
Yeah.
And like the whole student environment is much more accepting of esports. And then in combination with the acceptance of other schools, I think is definitely a great breeding ground for esports in general here.
That's cool. I wish James had a mic. I want to hear more James.
I know. Games action.
Yeah.
So you guys said you're hosting a second UBC LAN. That's going to be the qualifiers for the IESF. Who do you think, who do you think expect to qualify? Who do we have to work with from this tournament you guys are going to be holding there? What are some notable names?
So for StarCraft, it's a little different because there's been a huge transition of players to different games like League and StarCraft, and also Heart of the Swarm being released. It kind of resets a little bit, but the current players that are practicing the most, that I understand, are probably Pooh. That's his handle. Alec Rosyko. He's in Complexity Academy. And then also a guy called Elias Sison. He's Saiku. He used to be on Light before they disbanded. I don't know where he's in now, but both of them are definitely really, really strong. Like Pooh, for example, is one of QXC's. Pooh is pretty strong, yeah. He's one of QXC's practice partners, and he practices with all of Complexity and is actually like 50-50 with them. So he's definitely going to provide a strong showing. And I think Saiku practices a lot in Korea and does well there. I think he was High Masters back in Wings of Liberty on Korea. So we also have Sam Prouse Firezerg, which you guys had earlier. I don't know if he's actually been playing a lot recently. I haven't been in contact with him, unfortunately, for a little bit. But he's definitely has potential for some showing too. And of course, there's also the unknown factor that we don't know about, of some random player that decided to come and is actually really good.
Is Stoji in Vancouver?
Ostage? No, he's in.
Guelph?
Is he?
Okay, I couldn't remember if he was Ontario or BC.
Oh, actually, so that was just Vancouver. I forgot about the rest of BC. I think there's.
Tristan's so mad right now.
Standard.
Yeah, there's this one really young Terran player. It starts with a K. Kane, I think.
Kane's in Winnipeg.
You sure? Oh,
Pulse Kane? Yep.
I'm thinking of someone else then. There's one player in BC that's really young, who's apparently really good, that I've heard about.
What about Imagine?
Marker, the baby Terran. I think he could do well too, actually. I don't think he's been practicing all that much recently, but then again, I've been rather out of the loop with StarCraft. So, but yeah, I think he's a strong candidate as well. Right.
I like how you guys have a player named Pooh and a player who wears Winnie the Pooh. Seems to be a nice theme out there.
It's all planned. We call each other in the morning and plan our outfits.
Coma. Coma is the name of the guy.
Coma. There we go. That's what it is. Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard of Coma. He played in the Fiber Up Cup, I believe, last year.
Must have casted him.
I have a question actually about because you said I think you said the top 3 games or something. You said 3 games, and I guess what I'm assuming you mean is StarCraft, League of Legends, and Dota. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
So do you guys have any inkling that you might expand to other esports, or is there a pressure from the community, or do you guys even want to, like a CS:GO consideration or other FPSs for that matter? Anything else you guys are even considering, or do you want to branch out?
Yeah, I think this is sort of James's territory. So let me pass the
Yeah,
mic.
we can switch over to James here.
Nice.
I know he's been itching.
Okay, wow, I have the mic now.
Welcome to eSports Canada TV, James.
I haven't been here before, but
Hi. Okay, so, like you said, the 3 games: StarCraft 2, Dota 2, League of Legends. Those are obviously the big 3, not just in Vancouver, but anywhere in the world, I guess. Um, you mentioned FPS like CS:GO, right?
Yeah.
I think we actually have a branch, but it's not as big at the moment. I think it's called like UBC FPS group or something like that.
Mhm.
But like obviously it's not very big, and then we plan to kind of do some events here and there. Also, there's like the fighting game scene. I think
Oh
we
yeah,
have
the
some
fighting
events.
game community.
Yeah, we've had it on the side, like in like a separate room where just people come in and play fighting games. while
About
we
the fighting
watch
games,
StarCraft.
like, are they? I mean, in general, I look with the esports and fighting, it's a more separated community, right? Do you find
Yeah,
that
they are
at
for
the
sure.
university level as well?
What?
This is
Ah.
the most awkward mic setup ever.
Actually, yeah, the fighting game is actually really big here for, although it's not necessarily esport. The Super Smash Bros. Community for Melee is actually really big and really competitive. There's a couple of like big name players that like go to California and whatnot to compete, which is, I think California is like the Korea of Smash Brothers. But yeah, Street Fighter and all those other fighting games are definitely big here in Vancouver. Although I don't think UBC Esports is really into that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think you really want to stretch yourself too thin. 3 games is enough work as it is. So,
Right.
anyways, back to James.
I just imagine like with the amount of attendees you guys have, I'm sure people play all sorts of games. Like when we were at LAN ATS, we saw people playing faster than light, natural selection. There was no tournaments for those going on. But yeah, I just wanted to get a gauge on like what is your community actually asking for. But it's awesome that you guys are supporting those 3. I wanna move into this idea because obviously you guys are helping support the IESF qualifier that we're doing a national tournament across Canada, right? So this is like a big step for esports Canada and a big step for esports in Canada. So where do you guys see Canadian esports going in the next, like, let's say 5 to 10 years? I mean, do you think that we're going to be having major tournaments running across the entire globe? Are we going to be hitting a wall? What do you guys think?
I mean, 5 to 10 years is actually like a really long time from now if you think about it in
Right.
perspective. Because if you think about it, like Vancouver esports, for example, it's only been around, like it's only gotten this big for like 2 or 3 years, I'd say. Like ever since StarCraft 2 came out, that's when we actually, I feel like we kind of started as an esports community. So to say that like 5 to 10 years from now is actually, I think it's a long time, and then it's hard to predict stuff, what's gonna happen.
Right.
I think it's gonna keep growing, obviously, because from the trend that we've seen so far, we've only gotten bigger. Like we've never. I mean, like I guess StarCraft 2 died, kind of like in the early last year. Like people stopped playing. Kind of, it's been going back up and down, up and down.
Mhm.
I mean, people picked up other games to play, like League, and then now people are playing Dota.
Yeah.
Myself included, I started playing Dota after a lot of hours logged in, like 2,000
We've all
hours
been
or
there.
something
All
like
been
that.
there.
Oh man.
5,000.
Adrian's got
5,000 hours in Dota.
5,000.
I
You've
don't
got
think
2.
that's possible.
I have a lot of hours, dude.
That is not possible.
Oh, I AFK a lot too.
5,000 hours.
I'll have to check.
Wow.
5,000 hours.
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah, hours, I said.
You said dollars.
I said hours.
$5,000.
I remember
Yes.
during the
I've-
international, we were all
I've-
watching it, and I'd never watched Dota before, and Adrian was in the chat just like explaining in detail every single item, and I was just like how long has Dota 2 been out? They're like, oh, it's only in beta, and Adrian just knew the game inside out. And I was just like, nerd.
Like I was saying, I mean, like we might have some games die out in the future, like League of Legends might not do so well, Dota 2 might not do so well, but I think we'll have other games coming in here and there. And then I think the scene as an overall thing will continue to grow. Um, I don't think we've ever actually had anything too big in Canada other than like the biggest thing here is like Vancouver, which isn't too big. I think like 200 participants. GotoCon is like pretty similar size, I think. But in terms of land-wise, I think we don't have anything too big. But I think we'll get there eventually. Something like an MLG maybe for Canada. I think that'll be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, on the East Coast over here, you have Land ATS, and that's actually, I think that's the biggest one in Eastern Canada, and that's like only 1,000 people, right? So definitely space for growth there.
Yeah.
One day we'll have our dream hack. One day.
Yeah, one day we'll have our Canadian MLG, right?
We're
Yeah,
on our way, guys. We're on our way. We started it. We planted the seeds. We just need 5 to 10 years because anything can happen. But I want to ask you, because you did say 5 to 10 is like, oh, that's so long. You can't really think of that, right? But so I'm going to ask you this. Break it down to what's the next big thing that's going to happen outside of the whole ISF stuff that we're talking about, because we're not just shamelessly self-promoting the ISF tournament that we are running across Canada. What's the next, like, the biggest thing that might happen in your mind? Like, is it another wax and wane of the StarCraft community? Is it Dota being released and then picking up and taking over the MOBA community? What might be the next biggest thing you see in esports?
I don't think that has anything to do with like a specific game. Like I think for a scene to grow, like it has to be like a mixture of like different games. So I don't think it has to be anything like it doesn't have to be StarCraft 2. It doesn't have to be Dota. But I think the next big step would be something like regionals, like kind of like what we were doing with ISF, but like an idea of Canadian MLG is I think probably the next big step that we should take. Something to like because we never have anything like Vancouver and like Calgary like join together to have one big tournament or something. We don't have qualifiers from Vancouver or people from Ontario come over who play here. We never have that happen. Like we never have that ever.
Well,
So
we did.
did we?
The memory expansion.
Yeah, I think the last MLG in Canada.
No, that was Alberta. I mean, like people drove here, but that wasn't really like. What I'm talking about is like you have regional qualifiers and then like have like a final somewhere kind of thing. I think something like that would be.
How much drifting is there between the provinces out west? Because I know in Toronto it's not too bad to get to Montreal where there's another big gaming community. So do you guys intermingle a lot with the surrounding provinces or even territories?
It's pretty rare because I think the drive is like 10 to 20-hour drive depending on
Damn.
where you live. I mean, Montreal and Toronto is pretty close, right? It's like what?
Well, we're
2 hour
6
drive?
hours, which
6
seems
hours,
like a lot to me, but
that's not.
Compared to 20, that's nothing.
yeah, it's
Nothing.
we have it easy.
Vancouver is like on the very west end of BC, and then to get to anywhere in Alberta, you have to go through the entire province. That's pretty far away, and it's not ideal to fly over because that's obviously more expensive. So you have to drive. And, yeah, I think we've had like 1 or 2 players ever drive here. Maybe like we've had players from Seattle come here actually. Like the entire team Light came over for UBC Cup.
Damn.
Times.
This is like when the European settlers came in. They were discovering Canada. It took them forever to just finally cross the Rockies. You guys are segregated by geography. That's so unfortunate. But I do want to.
Like why something like a country like Korea does so well with like esports tournaments and lands because everything is so packed together and then everyone lives in that one area, right? Like Seoul, for example, has everyone there, so you don't really have to travel anywhere.
Korea's not
Canada
known for
to
its
have
segregation.
That, it's so far.
Gentlemen, you've been talking about major tournaments in Canada. I want to give you guys a chance right now to sell to MLGs and NASLs out there. Why should they come to Vancouver? Sell it right now, and I want to hear it. I want to feel it. I want it right in the
I think
feels.
we've had this
That's
discussion
Sham
a
Wow
long
guy.
time ago. You guys remember when MLG was deciding where to go? It's like either between like Montreal and was it NA? No, it was MLG. Remember like how Conrad went to like talk to what's that guy's name? MLG. What's that guy? Yeah, Sundance. And we've had like a long discussion about this. Like I don't even know what the points were that we made.
You're not selling me so far.
Mr. MLG's not
Okay,
impressed.
so for Vancouver, one of the biggest draws is it's actually not too far away from other places. I mean, we did just talk about how Alberta's really far away, but like it'll still draw spectators from LG and even Seattle, and then Kelowna is also another relatively big city in Victoria. So there's still, it's not like we're some isolated city with barren wastelands around it for miles. We still have
Not
people
Las
there.
Vegas.
And then also, like in terms of infrastructure and whatever, I actually did research on this. So transportation is really easy, actually, from the airport to some different venue spots. So the ideal place is actually the convention center. And if you can get a floor, it has one of the fastest internets in Canada because they actually facilitated the Olympics that were here 3 years ago. So it has ridiculous internet. And then it's also just, we have a train line called the Canada Line that goes straight from the airport, and it's just straight to the convention center, end to end. So you can do that. That's really easy. And then hotels are all around, and it's also like an incredibly beautiful city with, I mean, a lot of. Yes, I know, James. It's called beautiful British Columbia.
That was his punchline, James. He was going to end with that.
And so yeah, I mean, like, and also like the community here is just, I think, one of the best. Like they're all so really compassionate and passionate too about the scene. And whenever we're running events or whatever, we always have people like wanting to help, and they're always really excited to to help out and stuff. So I think we definitely have the right people, and then also the environment and infrastructure and all that's really beneficial for a sort of big esports event to come here.
I like it. There's no mention of proximity to Victoria or even Seattle.
I did say that.
Seattle.
Did you say them? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, Frank.
I said
But
Seattle
people
and
could go to
Victoria.
Whistler when they're not playing games. They could just go chill out there.
You like nerds do sports.
But there's something else I wanted to say about that, but I can't remember. Damn it.
Sounds important.
Dude, okay. Oh, how about this? If MLG or like NASL or some other major event decides not to come to Vancouver, are we going to see riots like when Vancouver lost the cup?
Probably.
Just
Is it
nerds.
you and James out there breaking stuff?
Nerds smashing keyboards in the street.
It'll be like 4 people, and then 4 people like actually like physically writing, and then the rest of us will just be in our computers like caps lock typing on Reddit.
We'll go on Reddit and rage.
Electronic writing, e-writing, we'll call it.
E-riot.
That's what we're doing.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Well, that was sweet.
Well, gentlemen, we are right on time. It is 9:30, and we usually like to allocate 30 minutes for our guests and 30 minutes for myself, Nick, and Frank to babble incoherently. So it is 9:30, and that means one thing and one thing only. It is time for, I don't know the French word for lightning. I was going to say le round du lightning. It's the lightning round. Could someone speak French in the chat? Tell me what the French is. Execute the French word for lightning.
Need help. Or
He probably
DJ
left.
McTwist, if you're still here.
DJ McTwist.
Why are you doing it in French though? And also, where's your video?
I forgot it again at work.
Not even says eclair. Say it.
Eclair?
No, it's not.
I don't think that.
Isn't that a
Tonnerre?
donut?
Tonnerre sounds right. Tonnerre, yep. Ou
Yeah.
foudre. I like
Execute.
foudre.
Or is it?
That'd be
Le
right.
round du
That's the most
foudre.
anglicized pronunciation of French words I've ever seen in my life, or heard in my life.
Oh, calling you
I'll
out.
have you know that I'm bilingual, Adrian. How many languages do you speak?
2.
What's the other one?
Cantonese.
Wait,
Yeah.
Nick, test him. Test him. now.
Test him, here we go.
Okay, he needs to say something. And he'd be like, Nehoma.
They hope.
Yo, he's done. He wins.
But like, okay, well, like, how am I supposed to respond to that?
Easy. He wins. He's got this.
Was that just hi?
Yeah, basically. What do you want me to say?
See, even I got that. So
No,
by
you
this
didn't.
logic, I speak 3 languages.
No, you don't. You're lying.
I'm going to put a suit on. I'll be right back.
Anyways.
All right, gentlemen, it is the lightning round. I'll be pitting the 2 of you against each other, and because you are in the same room, I'm going to take full advantage of that. So I'm going to ask you once and once only, are you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do this, actually.
That's a good idea.
Fantastic.
I share this.
For the to keep it clear and concise, we'll be asking James first, and then Adrian, and don't let your answers interfere with each other. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And for anyone in the chat who's joining us for the first time ever, who are fans of UBC and UBC eSports, the lightning round is 10 skill testing questions that are physically and mentally demanding, where I ask the guests and I ask that they answer as lightning quick as possible. So, gentlemen, here we go with the first question. Question number 1. Hold hands, and the first one to stop holding hands loses. Fantastic. Question number 2.
Is that
Name.
a question? I don't think that's a question.
That was a question. You have to hold hands, and then if one of you pulls away, then you lose a point. So it's 0-0, but there's a point to be made here. I like that. Multitasking, holding hands, and drinking. Question number 2. Name 3 sci-fi shows filmed in Vancouver.
Ooh.
Oh. There you go.
Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
I think sci-fi. This kind of crap.
John, you know this off the top of your head?
Yeah, man.
Are you a huge TV buff?
I'm a huge
That's cool.
sci-fi nerd.
Alcatraz, does that count? That's pretty sci-fi.
That is, in no way is that sci-fi.
How's that? People come back to life and travel in time. Like that's pretty.
That's pretty
That sounds
sci-fi.
like Lost, is what that sounds like.
Lost was sci-fi, bro.
So
Okay, Alcatraz I will accept. That's 2.
Uh,
You're missing a big one. The most popular of them all.
most popular sci-fi show. That's not a show. Idiots.
I love how they hate each other, and yet they're holding hands.
Yeah, we hate each other while we're holding hands. Exactly.
It's the get along shirt. That's what it is.
Do you know any sci-fi shows? I can't-
It's not collaborative. It's you're playing against each other.
This is a
Oh, it's not
competition.
collaborative. Okay.
How's James gonna do it if Adrian took all of
James already gave up, man. He
No,
passed it on.
Yeah, you passed the
Okay.
mic.
Your hands are really cold.
You got Fringe, Alcatraz. There's one more. There's like a whole list of 500 I'm looking at, but there's one specific one I'm thinking of.
X-Files.
I know which one.
I think
X-Files is correct.
That was filmed in Vancouver?
Yes.
Wow.
The first-
Is David Duchovny Canadian?
The first 5 seasons were filmed in Vancouver.
I guess there was a lot of dark.
The other one I was looking for was Battlestar Galactica.
That's filmed in Vancouver too?
Yes,
What's with
man.
Vancouver?
Vancouver's like the capital for TV sci-fi.
Pretty place, man.
You
It's
did
a
not know
pretty
that?
place.
No, I didn't know that.
Man.
That's
All the
one of the
time.
selling points. MLG. Capital Sci-Fi.
I wanted to see if Goosebumps was filmed there, but I don't think it was. All right, you guys failed miserably at that, and so I award you no points.
I don't watch TV. So I
And
feel like
the
that was
fact
not
that you
a fair
didn't know what
question.
Battlestar Galactica was, it's also -1 for both of you. So it's -1 against -1. So you're still holding hands, so that's good. Question number 3. Would you take the blue pill, blissful ignorance, or the red pill, painful truth?
The red pill.
James
They're
says
wearing the
painful
shirts,
truth.
too.
Yeah, they're wearing red and blue shirts here. See Adrian's reply.
I feel like I'm supposed to take the blue pill because I'm wearing a blue shirt.
I was always a
That's not fair. You offer him the pill and give me the. That's like a real short end. of the
well. You
stick
don't.
here.
Well, there's 2 red pills and
You
2
can-
blue pills. You don't get the
yeah,
other
you can
one.
take
You
a
can
red
pick
pill
whichever
with
one you
No,
want.
you could
Can I
take
take
2
both
red
at the same
pills.
time?
True.
I
Next
take both
level.
at the same time.
I like that answer. That's clever. Not sure what more of you would have said to that. So you get the point, and it's now -1 to 0. Question number 4, and I'm gonna let Nick and Frank take this over once I ask it. 'Cause
Wait,
it's
hold
out of-
on. Is the score system like golf? So, like, they
no,
make-
not at all. You want a high
It's
score.
like John.
You
It's
want
like
a high
John.
score.
So when you couldn't answer films and he awarded you negative points, you thought that was good?
Well, I don't know. I did answer all 3.
Yeah, but then
I
you
don't know why
didn't
you
know what
told me.
Battlestar Galactica was.
I knew what it was. I didn't know it was filmed in Vancouver.
Well, it's the biggest one by far. So
I think X-Files is bigger than Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, let's just
okay,
let's argue this out right now.
that is a good argument. But X-Files was one of the first 5 seasons, so it's not true. Like -1 again. So it's -1 to -1. Question number 4: the most OP hero in Dota 2.
Drow.
Knicks.
Oh, what do you think, Nick?
I'm going with Knicks, man.
Oh, I was gonna say Drow.
Spike carapace, dude. You can just walk into shit and turn it on.
Yeah, but come on, Drow. She's so OP. Everyone
How
knows
can
that.
you tell how OP Dro is if she's not even in CM, right?
Well, she has like, okay, so in all three like tiers, so like normal, high, and very high MMR, Drow has like 58 win rate, 58%. Nyx is probably 50. Can someone look that up?
No.
Stats
Look
man.
it up.
There'll be no fact checking in the lightning round.
Between Knicks and Dro, who has picked the most in competitive games?
Well, how does it be picked in competitive games? Wait a second.
I love how you guys are still holding hands. You both get points. You both get points.
All right.
Question number 5.
DOP. That'll answer.
Question 5. First thing you would buy or do, or both, if you won the lottery. The Canadian lottery.
Well, we get Canadian money. Okay, so Canadian money, we don't have to change currency. I'd probably save some, invest some. I don't know. I'd be responsible with my money. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I'd probably do the same. I'd probably buy a house, if anything, if I'm buying something.
This is the lightning round. You didn't actually win it, guys.
Yeah.
Play for fun.
That is the most boring lottery victory ever.
It is pretty boring. Hey?
All right,
I award you no points. Question number 6. The most handsome man in esports.
All of esports, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So any game. I'll go with PyCat.
I will look up this podcast.
Tell me if you think he's
Spelled
super handsome.
PAJKATT.
This is tough. Tough question. I was gonna say Dendi, but I don't wanna say another Dota related. So, what did you just say? Did you just insult Dendi?
Oh snap! It's about to go down.
So Dendi and PyCat?
Yeah, I'll go with Dendi. You can't go
Okay,
wrong.
John.
With
What do you think?
All right, just let me pull this up. I looked up PyCat, and this is what I found on Google Images. I don't think that's him, but at the same time, he is an attractive male. And I'm sorry. And your answer, James, was Dendi?
Dendi from Dota, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you pull up the picture where he's
Spelled PyCat,
making his
right?
eyes real big for the interview.
Look up
Yeah,
Dendi.
spell it again.
Right, John?
Spell it again,
Okay.
Adrian.
Dendi's.
PAJKATT.
Oh, PAJ.
I heard A.
H. I'm not going to take the time to look that up.
I'll look it up. Whoa.
You're both wrong. The correct answer was FireZerg. Someone from the chat did get it, who said Sam Pros. JXL Gravity. So JXL Gravity, you are now in the lightning round, and I award you a point. So I think both of you guys are at -1, and JXL Gravity is at +1. So you're losing to someone from chat.
Frank, what are you
Sorry
doing?
about that
Yeah,
link.
you just posted 800 letters as a link.
Wall of text.
Posted a wall of text, yeah.
Just holy cow.
Minus 1 point for Frank.
Yeah, Frank is never allowed into the lightning round. Episode 100, I'll put on a lightning round between Nick and Frank. Where are we now? Question 7. Rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3 between the two of you.
Oh,
1-0.
for James.
Oh,
snap.
1-1. This is it. So much meta. Okay, Adrian takes it with a point. Finally gets back to 0. So it's now -1 for James, 0 for Adrian, and +1 for JXL Gravity. Question 8. Taking turns, and without repeating the same answer, name video game franchises that start with the letter S.
good one. This is the Frank game.
And if the game is like the something, then that counts. It can start with the or
Silent Hill? Is that word?
Yep.
Yeah.
So any video game series with S.
Yep.
Yes.
But now that
Starts
you say
with
Silent
an
Hill,
S.
you can't say like Silent Hill 2. What do you say? What do you pick?
You said StarCraft. Like I didn't. Somehow I didn't think of that. Sly series.
Okay.
Yeah, like Sly Cooper. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
Thievius Raccoonus.
Sim City. Does that count?
Good one.
Yep.
That is a
I'm
game
guessing
that starts
doesn't
with
count.
S.
Do you know what the letter S is?
Yeah. What the, why are you guys so
What does the S sound
Can I say
unconfident?
Is that a
Sims?
C or an
a
S?
different franchise?
Say what? Sorry.
Sim City.
So does The Sims work even though you said Sim City?
Yeah, it's a
one.
different game.
Okay.
Okay.
I could say like Sim like Tycoon.
Oh.
What?
This-
Sim
No, it's
Tycoon?
not a game.
That is not a game. You're thinking of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
What's Sim Tycoon? What the heck
Yeah.
is that?
Or Railroad Tycoon.
Yeah.
Did you lose?
Yes, of course he lost. So Adrian gets the point, and he's now tied with JXL Gravity. So it's 1-1 and -1 for James.
JX Gravity was also doing well. Street
He's-
Fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
JXL Gravity. Yeah, JXL Gravity actually said Sonic, Soul Calibur, StarCraft, SimCity, Street Fighter, Super. I'm gonna have to give him a point. So he's now out to a
Star
commanding
Wars.
2-1 lead over Adrian.
Star
Congratulations to
Fox. Those are
JXL.
good games, guys.
These are fantastic games coming out of the chat.
Poor
Serious Sam.
UPC StarCraft. Why aren't you showing him any love? He's calling all the stuff and he's mad.
Oh yeah, but you know what? James did say StarCraft. He does deserve a point.
It's
What?
a point for saying StarCraft.
Yeah. 'cause
No,
if nobody
he does not get a point for that. You're just minus
the
one.
obvious answer.
All right, question 9. You have to arm wrestle.
We're holding hands. How would you do that?
Well, you
With
can
the
do it
arms
with
that
the
are
arms that you're
What
holding.
arms you're holding?
Adrian's just in the worst
It's
position.
my left hand.
Oh, I had money on Adrian.
Yeah,
I had
seriously.
money.
It's my
You
left
flipped.
hand. Okay.
You flipped, bro?
I doubled down on Adrian, so James, I'll award you 2 points. And so now it's JXL is at 2, and you guys are tied at 1.
I think I should get a point for maintaining holding hands, even though we had to arm wrestle.
For this last question, I just have to make sure you guys are at James's house, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Question 10. You both need to run to the fridge and grab a dairy product and bring it back. And you have about 30 seconds.
While holding hands.
Well, whoever
Well,
lets
that's up
go
to you,
first
James.
wins.
If
Remember,
you want to
rule
let
one.
go
Don't
and
forget
drop
rule
a
number
point,
one.
by all
Time's
means.
running out, boys.
All right, they are going to come back with a dairy product. And we will see what
This
it
is the most
is.
fun episode.
What dairy product? Oh, do you think they're fighting? Like one guy's not letting the other guy get it?
That would be
Show me
great.
the camera
I
and
wish
the
we had a
Can you
camera
imagine
for
they
that.
come back and it's like we spilled all the milk in the house? They start
I
crying.
was thinking I was going to make them come back with the largest object that they could, but I thought that would just take way too long. So I decided on a dairy product from the fridge.
It's good. I think they're coming.
All right, they are back. Let's see what they've got here.
You got eggs?
Eggs.
You got eggs? Are you serious?
Okay, he got eggs, and Adrian got.
That's the only thing I could grab.
What did Adrian grab?
No.
Some Haagen-Dazs.
Okay.
Haagen-Dazs.
Eggs is
Ooh.
totally dairy product, dude.
Ooh. There is a very, very correct answer here. Sarah, they grabbed Haagen-Dazs and eggs. Which one of those do you think I prefer?
Sorry, what was the question?
He's asking his girlfriend, I think.
Sarah is the judge.
The correct answer was eggs.
What?
So
What?
James,
What?
how many eggs are in the
No.
carton?
I refuse.
I love eggs. I make a nice omelet.
18.
There's 18 eggs in there.
18 points.
18
right?
points.
It's like 18 of them.
Holy
How large is
smokes.
that carton?
You
A
eat a lot
normal
of
carton's
eggs,
only
huh?
12. How many? Let me see that carton. Is this a regulation carton?
It's 13.
There's a possible
13
DQ
left
here.
inside.
13 left.
Yeah.
I award you 13 points, one for each egg.
Okay, but that's an unlucky number, man. He should get negative 13 points.
No, 13 is actually my lucky number. It was always my number growing up in sports. So James Choi, you are the champion with a commanding, I believe, 14-point lead. So I apologize to JXL Gravity. You came this close to winning the lightning round without even being a guest. Adrian, hang your head in shame.
So what do I get for winning?
Well, the first thing you get, the lightning round's been over now for about 30 seconds, and you're still holding hands. So
Wipe that hand. Wipe that hand. Ugh, so sweaty.
So sweaty. Congratulations to the both of you. James, you obviously have not watched the show before. You get nothing. You get a victory in name only.
Nothing.
I think you might have the highest score of all time.
I think, yeah, one of them.
I think
It's
so, yeah.
14.
I don't know
He's
anybody
he's
who
up
has that.
there. We never update the scoreboard, so it's hard to keep track of them all. But 14 is very strong. It at least puts you in the top three. I think DDE had like 15.
He's
I'll
gonna go
check
put
on
the
Oh
that.
yeah,
eggs
Didi
back.
did well,
Yeah, go put them eggs back.
huh?
I'm telling him about his victory, and he just takes off. Well, congratulations to our guest this evening. Adrian fought hard. Yeah, Sam did get a high score. I feel like JXL Gravity is Firezerg. Or do you know who JXL Gravity is?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, who is it?
John Lee, Gravity, you call him Gravity.
Okay.
Damn it.
Oh,
It's Jonathan. Okay. Fantastic. Well, guys, I invite you to stay on for the next 15 minutes or so as we talk about a few things, plug some things, talk about next week. I ask that you don't speak unless spoken to. Agreed? Fantastic.
Yes, I agree.
Fantastic. So, Nick, Frank, you guys were at a couple of events this weekend in Toronto, the first of which was LAN Wars 5,
mhm.
held by one of our lovely members, Tony Tran, who's in chat right now, but he doesn't like to come on air. So, what can you tell me about LAN Wars 5? Who won? What games were played? How late were you guys up?
Oh,
Well,
Nick, go ahead.
okay, well, we were up until the wee hours in the morning. We actually started casting about 10 p.m. and went all the way till 6 a.m. the next morning. We were saying, screw it, cast throughout the night. We were going to sleep there, but instead decided to drive back home the next day. Matches were really exciting, but one player just, was just dominating above the rest. OG Cancho, shout out to you. Excellent Terran play there. Really showed us the power of that new Biomine style that Terran have been doing, especially in even in the recent MLGs.
Yeah, and I think Nick, you posted all the videos on YouTube, or maybe it was Alex.
I did.
Yeah, so all the videos are on our YouTube if you guys want to catch up on some Toronto University of Ontario Institute of Technology students in their play. And actually, a lot of the guys who ended up in the final bits were part of the CSL, and they all play with each other anyway. So there's a lot of fun camaraderie. Like even the ones who lost, they would chat about it after and had a lot of fun. So it was really nice to see. James, are you part of CSL in Vancouver?
Used to be. I'm not really anymore. I think Alec and Elia does most of the CSL stuff now.
Were you a player or were you like helping organize?
I didn't really. I played like one 2v2 game for CSL. I wasn't really like an official manager, but I helped them like play games and like organize games and get in schedule and stuff like that. I played like one game in 2v2. That was pretty fun. But not anymore.
Who reigns supreme at your school?
Star Life.
Starlife.
Star Life. It's
Yeah,
been such a
Star
long
Life.
time. Forgot his name. Yeah.
I thought he
we
quit,
met him
right?
at
Legend at UBC.
we met him in NASL. He was one of the
Yeah.
pros who played in the Pro and Joe thing we did at the after party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays League now.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
I thought I heard he quit StarCraft, so I guess that's sure. Is he coming back for HOTS? You
I
know?
don't think. Yeah, he's working at some place, Boeing, and yeah, he plays League on the side. So I don't think he's coming back to StarCraft.
Well, we should still have him on the show. Esports is esports. And you said he's bowling? Even more
No, he
reason.
works at Boeing.
Boeing.
Oh,
It's just bull.
Like the,
okay, well, if he's not bowling, he shouldn't be
He's
on
bowling a lot.
this show. I
So
thought he worked at a bowling alley. I don't know.
We
I'm not
bowling
judging
next
John.
next esport.
God, bowling is like the highest paid job in St. John, New Brunswick. Is it not? Did I get that fact wrong, John?
I thought it was fishing and whales.
guys, I never rip on Toronto. Come on.
I know. You totally didn't jerk about it at all.
As well, you guys were at Barcraft Toronto yesterday for MLG, and how was that?
Setup was pretty intense. I got there at 11, and we were just getting all the screens set up, moving all the furniture in. But great shout out to Loki Lounge for hosting such a good event. I mean, we had super comfy couches. They gave away almost like $100 in bar tabs. We had some prizes there, and the crowd was really awesome.
I was
Frank came
surprised at
late
how
though.
many
Frank
people
was
showed
late.
up.
Frank was late.
There
So
was a point where people, when they were coming in, were like, there was like no place to stand. It was absolutely packed. So it was a really good turnout. I was really impressed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I was also busy this weekend. I held a Heart of the Swarm launch tournament here in St. John, New Brunswick, and I had a pretty good turnout. 18 people showed up, so that's like 1/10 of the population. And we, I advertised it as a bronze, silver, gold for one tournament, and then platinum, diamond, masters for another. But I had like two platinums and then one masters sign up. And the platinum guys, like I knew they weren't like amazing or anything, but the masters guy, like I knew him from like a tournament or two, and he was signed up, and so I had to email him and be like, "Yo, like you can't come." Basically, like I told him like you can come and play in like the 2v2 tournament, which was for all levels, but like if he signed up, it would have just been like instant 10 people would have quit and been like, "Why am I playing?" So, and he was traveling from like 2 hours away, so I wanted to be like, "Listen, there's no tournament for you. You can still come and play fun games and whatnot, and yada yada." But that was my administrative blunder for the.
Did he take it well?
At first, no, but then I kind of explained it, and he was like, "Oh, it's fine. Just invite me to the next one." So, but it was weird because last time we had an equal amount of people for both Platinum Diamond Masters and then for the lower league, but this time it was just like 15 people in silver and then like two platinums. And then one guy signed up. If you look at the list of participants, they were all very Caucasian names, as much of a stereotype as that is. So it was like Dave Carter and like just like very Eastern Canadian names. And then at like midnight the night before the tournament, I looked and there was another sign up from Juan Chion. And I was just like, well, that doesn't bode well for anyone. And so he signed up as platinum though, and I was like, well, that's fine. Like platinum's definitely beatable. And then
Yeah.
when he showed up the next day, we all had to fill out a sign up sheet that I had, and you had to put your rank in there, and he put diamond, and I was just like, oh, dude, like I thought you signed up last night as platinum. He was like, yeah, but I laddered really hard last night and got diamond. And I was just like, oh, great. So not only are you Korean, but you've been practicing. So this is perfect. So I was like doing the introductions for the tournament, and I instantly grabbed the prize and congratulated him for winning, even though like we haven't played a single game yet. So he did end up taking the tournament. Um,
He
but
laddered hard.
yeah, he laddered hard the night before. I was so mad. But he dropped a few maps. I lost to him in the round of 8, 2-0. But I had
Did you
some
take?
pretty.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you took a map off him.
No, no, no. Tom Radcliffe and the guy in the finals, Lee Ada from Moncton, both took maps off him. But he only dropped 2 maps all day out of probably like 8 series. So yeah, he was a powerhouse and destroyed us all. And then he took his prizes and left. So no one knows who he was.
Mystery man
But
if you're
travels the
robbed, your
coast.
stuff is
yeah,
robbed.
the story of the tournament was there's a guy from the fighting game community here in St. John named Rillis is the name that he fights under, and he travels to like Halifax or PEI wherever they hold tournaments, and they call him Old Man Rillis because I guess the guy is just like he's like a little he looks like 18. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's just like a young looking kid and just loves video games, crazy stupid good at every game. But this guy showed up out of the blue because he watched our show before and won a beta key. It was the
Oh,
episode where we had Mike Daniels on from the fighting game community, and he knows Mike, and so it was like, oh, I'll tune in, and he ended up winning a beta key. So he played a bit of Wings of Liberty, but he tried out HOTS because I gave him a beta key. So this guy shows up to the tournament, and I recognize him from Fight for Infinity from the week before, and I was like, oh, didn't know you played and whatnot. And he's like, oh, I don't really, like, I just came out because I thought it'd be fun. I was like, sweet. So he ends up being in my group, and so I was like, all right, I got to face this guy first. And he's like, oh, I got to play you. He's like, are you any good? And I was like, well, not really. I'm in gold. Like, I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination. And he was like, oh, I suck. Like, this is going to be an easy win for you. So I go into the game and I'm just expecting, like, I'm just going to roll this kid. And so I just like have headphones on, raging dubstep, and I'm just like focused on the screen. First game of the day, hearts racing. I just want to like vomit. There's like 20 people crowded around TV watching the game. And then it opens up and I'm just like, doing my thing. 5 minutes in, and he's doing a little harass. I'm like, okay, he kind of knows how the game works. And all of a sudden, he just shows up with an army of like 120, and I was just like, what? And all of a sudden, he's basically like maxed on like 5 base at like 15 minutes, and I was like, who is this kid? And he absolutely demolished me in the first game. And he turns around. It was like a 45-minute game, just like back and forth, but he just rolled over me. and I'm just like sweating profusely. I just like need to take a 5 minute break. And he's like, "Oh, that was really fun. Like we should play again." And I was just like, "Don't ever come here again. Like I hate you and everything you stand for." And then we played the second game, and I cheesed him, and I won. And I was just like, "Oh, okay. He's not like unbeatable." And the third game, I was like, "I don't want to cheese him again. That'd just be stupid. I'll macro again, but this time I'll play smart. I know that he's good." And he just absolutely dummied me again. And then
Ugh.
he dummied the guy that I usually play with, who's better than me. And then he beat the third guy in the group, and he went 3-0 in the group. He had like the best record other than the Korean guy that won. But then he had to drop out because he came to the tournament, didn't think he would do that well, and so he only planned to be there for like an hour. And so he had plans for the rest of the afternoon, made the round of 8, and then just left. And I never got revenge on him. And so, Realis, if you're ever watching this VOD somewhere, join me on ladder, and we will have a best of 17
And
until I
ESC
win.
Simon and Jordan will cast it.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
John, you have to cheese him 9 times.
I know. I felt so bad. A guy traveled down from Fredericton. It was like an hour and a half drive, and he had already lost like 2 of his games to Rillis and BSG Drez, who's my sort of teammate. Anyway, so he plays me, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to lose and go back." I'm like, "Oh man, it'll be fun. Like I'm not that good. Maybe we'll have some close games." And I just like 10 pooled him with 2 spines at like the 3.5 minute mark. He just rage quit immediately and didn't want to play the second game. So.
John, you're killing esports.
I
at this
know.
point. You're not
It's
doing
bad.
it
Well,
right.
it's a tournament setting. You got to do whatever it takes to win.
Oh man,
That's what it's about.
organizers shouldn't play.
I know. I
We
totally
should
rigged it though.
quickly talk about, or if you're not done your story. Sorry,
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
done.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right. I just wanted to say that we should actually talk about next week. We were supposed to have Massa on, and but then he just realized that he actually has school, and he didn't really. He thought, I guess, we were going to tape on Saturday, so
okay.
he's probably not going to be on next week.
Can I remove him from the ticker?
Sorry.
Can I remove him from the ticker?
Oh, he's in the ticker, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't ignore that, guys. But we'll either find someone to replace him, or we might have that thing that John said where we have a show where we just talk. But also, we haven't done our esports, fantasy esports thing. We need to do that still. So maybe we'll do that
We should have
next
done it
week.
for MLG this weekend. What were we
I
thinking?
know we're idiots, but we're supposed to do that. Well, what can we look forward to then? What's the next?
GSL starting up, but I don't know if they do plug in GSL for it. I know they do like major kind of weekend tournaments. I don't think they do long-lasting.
Well, we'll have to figure out something. Maybe, are you guys doing anything in Vancouver? Oh, wait, you're doing your thing, what is it, this weekend? In Vancouver?
UBC Cup. Yeah, we'll get you guys to plug that in 2 seconds. Yeah, plug it right now, I guess. Where can we follow the 2 of you on Twitter, and where can we join UBC streams, Facebook groups, and all that?
Okay, so yeah, we're having a tournament this Sunday. We already had our qualifiers, as we mentioned before. The League and Dota 2 qualifiers are done, so we'll have 4 teams from Dota 2, 8 teams from League. We're gonna have the finals, cast it, stream it, stuff like that. We're also having an open pool StarCraft 2 tournament. That's gonna go, but we're still trying to have one because we already booked the space and everything. We have the space and time available. We're also raffling off a $1,300 computer. So
What?
What?
Can we buy tickets from other places or only people who are there?
only the people that are there, obviously.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
There's gonna be free food, free NOS. Well, not free NOS, but 50 cents per can donation, as per usual.
Yes.
We're giving away a lot of prizes. I think a total of like $5,000 or something like that, and a lot of league swag that we got from Riot.
Right, love that
Cool stuff.
league swag.
Yeah.
How many participants are you expecting?
For StarCraft, we're not sure. How many do you think for StarCraft?
For StarCraft, I'm not expecting that many people. Probably like 40.
Yeah.
40 people. Yeah, that's
But like total out of all gamers.
Well, since we already had the qualifiers, right? We had 60
okay.
teams, I think, in League, and 24 teams in Dota play the qualifiers, and we have 8 teams from League, 4 teams
Right,
in
right,
Dota
right.
closed down.
QQ. And where can I watch the stream?
Twitch.tv/UBC Esports, I think, is where we're gonna stream.
Fantastic. And is there a UBC eSports Twitter that I can persuade everyone
Yeah,
to?
it's at UBC Esports on Twitter, and then you can also we're mostly on Facebook. Actually, we don't use Twitter too much, but Facebook is where you want to go. It's called UBC Esports Association, and then there's 3 branches under it: UBC StarCraft Club, UBC Dota Club, and UBC League of Legends Club.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, you need
What
to.
about Adrian
Yes,
plugging his stuff?
Adrian does the same stuff.
He's got a Twitter.
Plug my Twitter, CGMenkt, CGMenkt, and also cheer for me as I'm actually qualified for the Dota 2 tournament with my team.
Oh, what's your team name?
I don't know if I can actually say it on stream. I'll type it out to you and then you can verify.
Jeez, good representation of eSports Canada.
Okay,
Nope.
Let's not say it.
Nope. Nope. You cannot say that.
No, okay. My team is NHOGs. We'll leave it at that.
Well, no, it's super obvious what it was. Like,
But I did say the entire thing.
oh no, no one will
You
put
can't
that
say
together.
night on this show. You know this, Adrian.
Oh man.
Now we're-
Nitro. You can't say nitro. That causes explosions.
No.
Nos is the Nos Hogs.
It's the NOS
Man.
hogs, yeah.
Nos hogs.
Nitrous
Yeah,
oxide.
we can't say NOS because they're not a sponsor of the show.
Oh no, put that can down. That's vulgar.
Yeah, so I think
Oh.
my favorite to get second in the tournament behind.
Your favorite to get banned and charged with race or hate crimes is what you're favored for. How did you get into a tournament with that name?
Yeah, James. I didn't get into the tournament with that name.
There's actually worse names in the tournament.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
man.
What kind of organization are you running out there? Jeez.
Oh my
Yeah, so
god.
cheer for me. Hopefully, maybe we can win. I don't know. We practice a lot.
Yeah, cheer for the team with the name starred out.
Got it.
Your image is PG though, right? I can't even imagine what your image is.
It's, our logo is Shadow the Hedgehog and then a Haagen-Dazs logo behind it, but instead of Haagen-Dazs, it's Haagen-Dazs, like H-O-G-G.
Hagen, yeah.
Uh,
You said
Well, that's-
Shadow? Who's Shadow the Hedgehog? Is that a Dota?
He's
Serious?
the black hedgehog from
Oh, from Sonic. Okay.
yeah.
I thought
I
you,
see.
I thought you didn't know the name of Sonic and you were trying to say Sonic the Hedgehog. That's why I brought it up. Fantastic.
well,
One
Sonic
last
would
thing
be
to
that
plug,
skin.
guys. The Fiber Off Gaming League qualifiers are coming up April 1st through 4th. You can see it on the ticker there, starting at 9 Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. And you can sign up and play all 4 nights if you want to and try to qualify. So it's the top 2 from StarCraft every night and the top 1 from League of Legends will qualify for the finals on that weekend. So April 6th is League of Legends, April 7th is StarCraft. So you can play every single night if you want and try to qualify through the week. The games through the week won't be streamed, but the finals will be streamed. Lag TV will be hosting the StarCraft finals on Sunday, April 7th, starting at 3 Eastern. And Jarrett Kale and some other caster, I'm not sure who it is yet, will be casting April 6th for the League of Legends finals. And we have
Epic
some
League of Legends casting. Epic.
and we have some proceeds coming along for StarCraft. So I've already signed 6 out of the 8 with a possible 7th that I got in touch with today. So there'll be some sweet Canadian pros playing in the tournament as well. So if you want to try your hand at taking them on, qualify through the week. All the information is at bellalliant.net/FOGL.
Vogel.
Fogel.
I have something exciting I want to talk about really quick. It's super quick.
What's that, Frank?
It's something that I've been working really hard for you guys. So for the people watching, in about 2 weeks' time, so not next week, but the week after, we're going to have a really special show. I don't want to give away too much. It's actually really secret information, and not many people know it in the organization. Nick happened to see a little bit of it. It is something that we're really excited about. It's going to be coming up again in 2 weeks, and let's just say, what can we say? What can we say? There's going to be Vancouver representation. I'll say that.
Let's just say it's going to be a party.
It's going to be a party.
And I saw the party list, and it looks quite impressive.
Yep. Good job, Frank.
Thanks.
Guys, Flash and Life are going to play a best of 15 on our show. I'll say that now, okay? I'll say that much.
John, you're not supposed to fucking say it.
Well, it is on April Fools, but we swear
Oh yeah, and I'm
isn't,
not kidding.
we swear this isn't just one big troll on April 1st.
100% Flash.
You can't
and
just
Life will
start
be on our show.
you can't
That's
start
what
trolling before April 1st and have it.
Yeah.
You can't.
You guys will like it. You guys will like it.
You guys are really going to like it.
I think you guys
like
will
it
like
so
it.
much.
I think you'll like it.
It's so
Like
good.
it?
So good.
I think you'll like it. I think you will.
I like it.
It's pretty good.
All right.
P good. So guest next week we have no one.
Not yet.
So
We
anyone
might find
you're
some.
watching and you want to come on the show, by all means, do it.
Maybe I'll ask Michael Cohen again.
Sarah says she will come on the show.
We'll have
Maybe
Sarah.
my cat.
Yes.
Can you bring the cat over, Sarah? I'd love for him to say goodbye to the stream.
Rhett, little Rhett.
Yeah, I named my cat Rhett, although we just call it Kitty.
Kitty Rhett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the
I
Yeah.
can't see it. How come you can
Suspicious,
see it
like-
on stream?
The non-StarCraft players, are they suspicious of why you named your cat Red?
Well, I was gonna name it Leenock, but then Sarah wouldn't let me. So she was all right with Rhett. We literally called it Rhett twice, and now we just call it Kitty. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for episode 27 with our guests James Choi and Adrian Fakstorp. James walked away with a victory tonight in the lightning round, so congratulations to him. Congratulations to GXL Gravity for getting points from the chat for the first time ever. Brute will not be on the show next week, but we will find a replacement. This cat is scratching the living shit out of me, so I have to throw it down. Fire Rock Gaming League, please qualify. UBC Cup happening this upcoming weekend at the Irving K. Barber Library. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at esports_Canada and on Facebook.com/eSportsCanada, and join our website eSportsCanada.ca to join the forums and the conversation and make that old esports thing happen. Make sure to follow at ESC Jovian and at ESC Songers. Your cat sucks, Frank. My
No, my
cat
cat's
will
pretty
roll
awesome.
your cat.
You know my cat's name? Hobbs. No better name than Hobbs.
That's what Idra named his cat. So
I named it first, I'm
My
pretty sure.
hand looks so messed up. I can't even try pointing. Screw it. Not pointing
Thanks so
anymore.
much, guys. Thanks for watching.
Peace out.
It doesn't have a cat.
This is Andrew Lisk, and you're watching eSports Canada TV.